thanks for joining me today. Stevie Lynn here with Stevie Lynn Pilates, and we're going to talk about a different posture called the Peacock Popper. So when you stand with your chest nice and proud, nice and wide, tends to put a lot of pressure in your back, causing what we refer to as an anterior tilt. This is common in women. We stand nice and uplifted, but it's also common in men with like a military stance. So military posture, that's where we're going with the Peacock Pop. So the imbalance here that we're going to address today is a few exercises to focus on closing your obliques, because as you can see here, you've got a lot of openness through your front wall here into the abdominals. When you close your rib cage, tuck your pelvis a bit, you get a nice sturdy engagement into your core, and it lengthens your back. So if you're feeling a little pain into your mid or low back, this could be something that you can benefit from really, really well. All right, let's get started. So we're gonna start taking a seat on the floor, and as always, going into a little bit of breathing. So you're gonna just sit, take note of how you normally kind of balance yourself. Inhale to sit up tall, exhale to go ahead and have those ribs come down toward the front of your hips. We're gonna do one more. Inhaling to lengthen the spine, and then exhaling, this time with a little rounded action. So pulling downward on the ribs, not necessarily curling and finding tension in the shoulders. You're gonna find that that's gonna be a common error in our workout today. So again, mostly just closing and going into what you call a C curl. Ribs connecting to the top portion of the hips. Inhale up, exhale, close that space. Let's try this one on our back. You should be able to see a little bit more of how the front of the body will affect the back of the body in what we call those antagonist zones. All right, so all the way down, settling here, I'm gonna move my arm just so that you can see. As I kind of naturally lay, if you know that you overarch your back and you feel like your rib cage kind of bows out to the ceiling, you could definitely be a peacock popper or a rib cage popper, as I'll refer to it a couple of times too. So closing this space, re-anchoring. If I were to take a hoop and draw it all the way around my ribs and then also a hoop around my hips, I'd be able to put those two hoops together and look straight through so you wouldn't be overly tilted and creating an imbalance there. So this is your neutral spine. There is a little bit of space in your low back, but there's not a huge amount of space. You should be able to have your bottom ribs be engaged and touching the floor. So, there you go. You're gonna go ahead and breathe in. Breathe out. With my hands, you can see that as I'm breathing in, I'm lengthening my spine. As I'm breathing out, I'm kind of engaging to draw my ribs down toward my front hip pockets. All right, we're gonna get a lot of obliques today. Let's start with just introducing how our hips move. So, imprint, tuck the hips, and then go ahead and balance back to neutral. Release that imprint. Exhale, tuck in. Inhale, balance out. Again, not overarching, no pop here. If you want to place your hand and kind of watch how that goes through your series today, knowing that you're guilty of that, it's going to be a common error. You're going to engage in those muscles and just really work to strengthen your obliques. More of the work is pulling from the front of my body rather than squeezing my butt to lift my hips. So keep that in mind too. All right, we're going to go ahead and experiment with this one. So, tucking a little bit, squishing a little into the space of the low spine, lift your legs up. I like to bring them up one at a time to make sure I can really maintain my form here. And then I'm going to see if I can maintain my closed rib cage as I lower one foot and then bring it back, and then the other side. All right, so there's some work here, maybe a lot of work here. It might even be a lot of work to hold the knees over the hips and just scooch the knees out a little bit. Woo, bring the feet up a little to close that rib cage again if you need to. And then when you can get longer and lower, those are your progressions. All right, we're gonna go ahead and bring the feet down. Play with any of those as you'd like. Let's take a quick stretch though. I'm gonna come all the way up. I'm gonna go into my cat stretch. So you're gonna go ahead and come onto your hands and knees. This one's pretty common, but I really want you to focus on opening up the space of your back that has probably been collapsing. As your ribs are open, remember, you're opening up into you're closing into your back, and creating a little pinch there. So hands under shoulders. We're gonna go ahead and pull on that front side of the body as we open up the back side of the body. I'm adding a tuck of the tailbone. I really want my spine to extend, open up to the ceiling, and then relax just to a neutral, all right? So for this posture, we're gonna focus on rounding into cat, not necessarily going into the opposite side of that into cow, okay? So just like imprint and release, we're doing cat stretch, eyes go down a little bit, And then eyes go forward into a release into neutral, okay? Just one more of those. To get a little deeper stretch into that low back, take the knees wide, bring the feet in, and then find your shell stretch here. Let your hips sink. Arms are long, body's relaxed. And again, you might feel a little unwinding effect all the way down the chain of your spine. All right, we're gonna come onto our back one more time. We're gonna put one more tool into our toolkit here. This one I think is specifically very important. So, as you lay on down, we're gonna go ahead, come back into that neutral where the ribs are not hiking up to the sky. You're nice and anchored here. Your chest is feeling wide. However, we're gonna learn how to properly chest lift without having that spot give. So hands behind the head. As my elbows go wide, you might naturally feel a sense of arcing your back and releasing all of that we've just worked on. So, what I want for you to do before you chest lift is I want you to nod your chin. Notice my head is still in my hands, and so I'm just forward slightly to take the pressure off of my neck. The next thing I'm gonna do is flare my elbows in. Watch my rib cage. Elbows out, rib cage open, elbows in, rib cage grabs and kind of grounds, okay? So a couple more like that. As I have my elbows come in slightly. Now, I think that the biggest reason that sometimes we're told to keep our arms out wide is because we curl, crunch, and put a lot of tension here. So I still don't want you to do that, but I do want your elbows flared in, your chin nodded in. The lift is gonna take place from the center of your body. This is kind of a big deal. We're not lifting our head, the head will follow along. All right, so chin, elbows, and exhale. Lightness through the back of the body, so you're using your obliques to come forward, and then bring it back. Chin, elbows, and forward. You might literally have to do this and say it almost every time. Chin, elbows, and forward. But you really want to work into those zones that may be a little bit weak for you, and you're gonna feel a difference in the tension across your neck. You're gonna be working more into the core. You may find a little bit more soreness the next day into your upper abdominals. All right, we're gonna go ahead and just try one more here. Chin, elbows, hold forward. We're gonna go ahead and have those arms come out now. We're gonna go into arm circles. So arms are gonna go ahead and go nice and wide. Lay the head back down. As the arms go high, the rib is gonna tend to pop. Make sure that you only go as high as you can keep your rib cage down. And then down with the chest lift, out and around. If you feel like this is just too much and you're feeling your back kind of ebb and bow, on that mat, then you may want to go ahead and just work on the arm circles. You may find that it's more just up and over your body here with the ability to keep the rib cage pinned. As you go ahead and sweep those hands a bit higher, 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 you're gonna find your back starting to arch. So that's too high, you wanna come back in. All right, let's reverse it. Try a couple more, either with that head resting, maybe with the head adding that lift, maybe incorporating what we did before and also lifting the legs in tabletop. All right, remember, don't drop the toes in tabletop. You may find this to be harder with your head down. All right, just a couple more. And then we're gonna give those knees a little hug. We're going into single leg stretch. So chin, notice I haven't lifted yet, chin, forward. I'm gonna go ahead and reach one leg long, lightly tap the inside of my knee, the outside of my ankle, and switch. So here, I'm in a nice isometric hold through my obliques. I'm forward, I'm lifted, and my rib cage is closed. Remember, whatever I'm doing on the front of the body affects the back line of the body. So as I'm engaging here, I'm also opening here. You may get a sense of kind of stretching your back with that head lifted. Remember, play with this one with head down or with that chest lifted high. All right, we're gonna take it straight into obliques, incorporating a couple of the things that we've learned. Hands behind the head. We're gonna lift, we're gonna rotate to meet that knee coming in. And I always like to look past and look low. All right, so you're getting a little bit more movement along the rib cage because we're specifically addressing obliques with this series. This is a nice little one for getting that twisting action. One side of the body is open, one side of the body is contracted. Let's go ahead and take it up a notch. Exhale, exhale, inhale, inhale. All right, rest if you need to. we're done. Bring it in and just release. So now give yourself the permission to stretch, arms long, legs long. Listen to what happens along the length of the abdominals. You're gonna find it opening up somewhere along the line. I'm gonna give you a progression here using our bridge and option to add hand weights. I'm only using 3-pound hand weights. I find that this is a good zone for feeling the engagement, but we're gonna use some things that are gonna test what we've learned through the rib cage, so you don't wanna go heavy. You'll find yourself going right back into your peacock pop, okay? So arms are loaded next to the body, feet are down on the mat. I'm gonna tuck my hips a little bit. That way I can get this nice connection, closing my abdominals, lengthening my back, and then I'm gonna roll up, lift the arms, take it all the way back down, roll, 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 and soften. All right, adjust however you need to. Maybe you're gonna find that in that zone, on the opposite of those popping ribs, you feel a little bit like you're not rolling, you're just lifting, okay? So if there's any spots that feel a little bit more like a whoop, where 1 or 2 or even 4 vertebrae all come up at the same time, then that's going to be one of the zones that you really want to work on. So rolling up, lifting, and then really forcing yourself to get a nice undulating spine on the way back down. All right, one more of these, lifting up. Now, here's the one that's going to test you a bit. Keep your hips high. You've got a nice long body, nice neutral spine with the abdominals engaged, the ribs drawing down. The arms are going to go out, but not too far, and then back in. You're in your chest fly. Now, you will notice that there is a sense of popping the chest and arching the back. That's where you want to stay away from. So if this is still happening, if you're still arching, flip the palms and give yourself a chest press instead until your body learns that a little bit better. Remember, we're doing work with communicating our brain to our muscles as well. So back into that chest fly. If you're all ready to advance, you can go ahead and take your heels off. It makes your stabilizers work more. And then an ultimate challenge would be one arm, pull in. The other arm, pull in. Because I have these light weights, I could always pass both to one side with this variation. Try a couple of things here. If you ever need to go ahead and recommit to your rib cage, have your arms stay closer to the body. You can do skull crushers. My elbows are pinned narrow on this one rather than flaring, causing my rib cage to flare, or even bicep curls here will all help as you strengthen right down through your midline. All right, we're gonna go ahead and bring it on up and roll it nice and easy back down, really listening to where those tight areas are. All right, getting to know your body is a huge deal. It'll really advance what you're doing every time you come to your mat. All right, we're gonna go ahead, bring it to spine twist. So, all right, so seated upright, we're gonna go ahead and have our knees maybe softly bent. For a lot of us, if you straighten your legs, it tends to make you go ahead and round because your hamstrings are a bit tight. So that little knee bend can help incorporate that nice stack sensation. Arms come out in front of you. We're gonna go ahead and twist to the right. 3 counts, kind of like you're moving like a sprinkler. This one's called spine twist. And bring it back. All right. So what you're experiencing here is rotation of your torso. You're moving your ribs, but not your hips. Now, you're not squeezing your shoulder blades together. The arms are out long, but it's actually not an arm series at all. So I could even bend my elbows here. I don't want to feel my rhomboids get a nice little pinch. I want to feel my shoulder blades relax down my rib cage, sunk down nice and flat, my shoulders relaxed as well. Let's bring this to kneeling to actually increase the challenge. So, upright, hips nice and stable, arms out long in front of you. We're gonna go ahead and exhale, 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 bring it back. Hands are floating and lining up with the rib cage, not racing the body. Everything's moving as a unit. All right. Go ahead and try to go just a little bit further to increase that range of motion into the spine. Like we talked about, this is working out kind of the sticky spots that you may have felt when you were rolling through your series. All right, so now let's go ahead and try a challenging one. We're gonna go ahead and sit, going into neck pull here. So your feet are wide. You're gonna go ahead and take your hands up behind your head, and you might notice with wide elbows, the back is gonna wanna arch. You're gonna go ahead and be holding yourself with a lot of pressure in the spine. So go against that, bend your knees, bring your elbows slightly forward, re-anchor right here. So with neck pull, you want to hinge for as long as possible, and then when you can no longer hinge, you roll, okay? It's definitely a toughie. So you're gonna go ahead and sit up nice and tall, ribs are still down. You're gonna go ahead and put your weight into your hands a little bit more. Take it a little further. If you're already there, go ahead, nod your chin, start to roll through your spine. Lay yourself all the way down. All right, nod your chin, that's where we're going next. We're gonna go ahead and start to round forward. Reach if you need assistance. Come forward over the knees, round back, take a moment to stretch here, and then re-stack the spine. You'll notice my knees soften and I'm nice and upright. So when I go through my rolly zone, when I get through that hardest part to roll through, you'll hear me using that staccato breath. It helps me a lot to slow down as I make connection to the mat. So inhale, anchor, exhale, hinge, go for it. All right, as you get into that hinge, eyes down, start to roll. Deliver yourself down to the mat. And then nod, flare, round forward. Add the reach if you need to. Curl the spine. We're not putting pressure on the head. As you go ahead and come all the way up. Yeah, ironically, there's no pulling your neck and neck pull. So coming back, hinging, hinging, hinging. Rolling through when you need to. Staccato breath where necessary. And we're gonna come all the way back up to sitting. So forward and round. Take that little stretch, arm back, reaching behind you to the back edge of your mat. And then go ahead and lengthen and come all the way upright. So we're gonna go into obliques roll back now. My feet are nice and based on the floor. I could maybe add hand weights when I'm ready to progress this one. But for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and give you a little demo. As you bring your hands in front of you, your elbows wide, flare your elbows a little bit to light up the muscles on the back of your arm here, back of the shoulder. You're gonna hollow out the belly, so scoop and connect, rib to hip, all right? Closing that space there. If you feel like you're squishing your organs, you're in a good spot. So rounding forward and really shoving your navel to your spine. All right, one hand at a time, we're gonna reach, open up, twist and pull. Out to the side, twist and pull. So on this one, I'm gonna really avoid hiking my shoulders. I'm still in that torso rotation zone. My feet are softly connected, but maybe I'm pulling a bit through the glutes because you don't want to put all of the work into the front of your hips. So keep that in mind. Let's maybe take it a little bit higher. So as you reach, you're gonna increase that long lever, make that challenge a bit tougher. Maybe reach past where you're comfortable, having that opposite oblique pull you in, just like it's throwing you a life raft, pull you back into the boat. All right, one more to finish up and balance out. As I come to center here, still in the scoop C curl, hands are coming high, but not where the shoulders come up. Shoulders are down, chest is wide, hands start to go ahead and pulse up. So what's happening here is your shoulders stay down, your abs stay triggered because those ribs are being pulled forward with the obliques. This is a good one to find out where your range of motion is. You might be having this just lift and lower in front of the chest, and then you'll notice your progressions as you can bring those hands up higher and higher while maintaining your form. Come on forward, let your feet connect, take a nice little stretch here into your hips, a little butterfly stretch. Next, we're going into side leg series. All right, so we're gonna take it down to the mat. Go ahead and stack your body. Let your head rest. So I'm gonna use this forward hand like a little kickstand. I'm gonna have the bottom leg long because that makes it a little bit harder, but you can always bring the knee in if you feel like you need to do that to stabilize. So first, you wanna make sure that you are feeling anchored. We've got our neutral spine and we're pulling away from the floor, we're not collapsing. You're gonna take the top leg and then just start to lift and lower. Now, when you add that lift and lower, you'll feel the sense of wanting to dump into your body down onto the mat. Really hold and make sure that you're making your spine one long line. Everything's incorporating to hold you at a nice lengthened position here, nice and still through the torso. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and now take that leg to pause, point the toe if it's not already, move slowly, little bitty circles. And you'll feel the little shakes and shimmies happening up the line of the body. Reversing the direction on the circle. All right, we're gonna bring it into our big boy challenge. If you'd like, you can pull that knee in. We're gonna go ahead and take the leg to rest a moment. This time we're gonna pull the toe in for a dorsiflexion. Toes are in, heel is reaching, kicking forward, and then sweeping back, point the toe. All right, flex and reach forward, forward, and back and point. All right, so the forward is gonna feel more like a stretch on your hamstrings. And you're really working on holding your hips nice and stable. You can absolutely take the hand up as you progress this one. It is really tricky though. You can see I'm really fighting those instincts to rock forward and back. Keeping my pelvis square is where the battle is, all right? Just go ahead and finish that one up. And we're gonna bring it to our belly for swimming. So just a quick little turn. Hands are on the mat. Nose is aimed to the ground. I'm not looking up and arching my back. I'm looking down and pulling in. So you might even have a little rock of your hips inward to make sure that you close the space of your core. All right, slight retraction of my chin to work my neck, floating everything I can off of the mat. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just lift opposite arm, opposite leg, switch. I like starting my hands right next to my ears because it makes me hone in on my shoulder blades, my form. And then you can always extend out as long as you're still feeling like you've got all that good engagement, your back isn't overarching. If your hips are having a really hard time tucking in here, you can also place something underneath, maybe a second yoga mat or a pillow to be able to help you close that space. All right, maybe a little bit faster. We're gonna go ahead and switch. Holding the body nice and still. Lighting up those posture muscles into our back, into our legs, into our booty. Last 3 and 2. Feel free to float, tuck, hold, 3, 2, and melt. We've got that second leg to do, so quick little stretch, and then I'm gonna bring it around to the other side of the mat. All right, so letting your head rest, either using your bicep as a pillow with your arm long, or maybe even bending that elbow underneath. All the little shimmies to make sure you're in a good space here. And you're gonna take the top leg to lift and lower. My hand is really light here. I'm not trying to bring any tension into my hand or into my neck, all right? I've got a nice isometric hold on those obliques. If you do have one side of you that's a bit stronger than the other, you might feel that you're being pulled in that direction. And these challenges where everything has to hold nice and still will help even that out, okay? Lift the leg, point the toe, and small circles. It can be surprising how much that first circle can make you rock and roll, how much you thought your abdominals were on, and then how much you gotta tune in. Come into your space, come into your body. Feel your body here on the mat. All right, opposite direction with those circles. My toe is long and reaching, but I'm not curling the toes in to arch my arch. So you're gonna go ahead and keep the pressure out of the feet as well. Last 3 and 2. Moment of pause. We're gonna dorsiflex, pull the toes in, reach the heel, kick forward, and sweep back. Here's your glute engagement. Kick forward, woo, and sweep back. That first layer is a big stretch, making sure our hips are nice and flexible. Making sure that our hamstrings get a little lengthening here. All right, just one more. And bring it all the way back down. We're gonna pull the knees in and just take a quick second, letting the hips relax, letting everything open up. We're gonna take it to the mat in just a moment and go into our planks, okay? So this last bit of the series has some good challenging stuff. I'm gonna give you progressions, and if you feel like you're not quite there, that's okay too. All right, so facing your mat, we're gonna go ahead and have hands underneath. If you need forearms for your shoulders, that's totally fine. We're gonna go ahead and tuck your toes, come forward into your plank and lift. Now the reason the plank is so important is it incorporates a lot of the things we've been working on. Are my ribs closed, or is my back dumping my belly down to the mat? Okay, so a little rock with the hips under, rib cage engaged. You also can make sure your shoulders aren't hiking up into your ears, so squeeze them down and back. Find a good little bit of push through those hands Not locking out the elbows, those are still soft. And you can play with any variation of plank that you want to do here, but really focus on that form, making sure to work into those zones that we've already been hitting through this series. All right, we're going to go ahead and take it to the back one more time, going into our corkscrew. Here's a big boy. You're going to lay all the way back down. Corkscrew is a layer of inversion as well. So, bringing the legs up, and the hands may be wide for a little bit of balance and control. You're just gonna start to make a U shape with the knees. Rocking to the right, rocking to the left. Now, this is gonna feel probably pretty nice, just with a little bit of openness there. If you'd like, then go ahead and have those legs go a little longer. See if that feels good. If you need to go back to the bent knee, that's fine. Now the progressions. We're gonna go ahead and have the legs lift up and lower down. Now you might just lift one hip. You might be able to progress both. And roll through center. I like momentum to get to the top. And then a really slow descend. Getting that twisting action we were talking about again. Really addressing those ribs that like to open, that proud peacock chest. I've got my chest open, my head relaxed, working through the core. Just take one more. And bring it back. We're on our final unwind, everybody. Go ahead and come back to your plank position, but this time with just a little switch. We're gonna go ahead and take our hands to the mat. Bring your feet long behind you. We're gonna go ahead and pike the hips up and then reach the arms high, all right? As you lift, arm under. As you descend, arm reaches high. You're in a nice little twist here, like you're reaching through under the space of the body. You can do this one from your knees and just take the stretch if you prefer. Let's give it one more reach. Going into side bend, possibly. Well done. And then we're gonna go ahead and hit that other side. I'll bring it around so you can see my face. Hands on, feet back. Hike the hips, and then as you come forward, lift the arm. On the next pike, thread the needle. And come on up. Going into your twist. And reaching tall, nice. All right, last two. I've got hair problems going now. And last one. Add that side bend. All right, I hope you feel great. This challenge should have been athletic, okay? There's a lot of little things to remember, and just recognizing where your tendencies go are gonna make all of your workouts more efficient, more productive, harder too, because you're gonna be addressing those imbalances. If you're ever looking at getting a postural assessment, please send me a message. I'd love to help you out, and we can actually give you a little bit of a look from head to toe, find out where the work is hiding. All right, thank you so much, everybody. I really enjoyed my time here. I hope you did too.